Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and in this video we're going to be looking into a very exciting topic. This topic is all about what does it take to be superhuman. So we're talking about superhumanity. We're talking about one who can actually be a superhuman. But when we say that word, superhuman, what comes to mind when you hear that word? Here's a superhuman. Look, a superhuman is over there. What comes to mind? What are some thoughts that come to mind? Well, one of them may be they're extraordinary. They're advanced. They're powerful. They're courageous, like a superhero. They're without limits, because they're superhumans. For a superhuman, we have absolutely no limit to ourselves whatsoever, but they must also be a special kind of person. Must be a special kind of person who could be a superhuman. When I could actually look at you and look at all 8 billion people on the planet and say no, because all of you can be superhuman. Come on, Brad, what are you talking about? You trying to pull my leg here? Trying to tell me that I can actually be a superhuman? Yes, because that's what I've been teaching on my channel for the past 14 years. Is teaching you how to be superhuman. No, it's not about the idea of having to find some genetically engineered scientist who can engineer your genetics. No, it doesn't have to be about you being born on another planet, coming here, and your only weakness is kryptonite. It is not about the idea of looking at this in the superhero fashion, that you need a cape and a cowl. The idea of a superhuman really represents the idea of this: a superb human. A superb human is one who knows everything is well. Everything is perfect. So yes, they certainly do represent all of these qualities here. They're extraordinary, they're advanced, they're powerful, they're courageous, they're without limits. That represents the entire nature of what it is to be a superb human. And that this is what you can be as well too. But what stands in the way of us realizing that we are not a superhuman? What stands in our way of thinking that we cannot be this? Well, it's our doubt. It's our conditions. It's fear. Most importantly, it's intellectual conditioning. And this is the big culprit, because that is the seed of the ego when it comes to intellectual conditioning. We have intellectual conditioning. One of the worst words that we have ever been taught as a human race is this: that is one of the worst words that has ever come upon the human vocabulary. You can't do that. That's impossible. There's no way that can be done. That's impossible. You can't be serious. That's impossible. It's impossible for me to do this. It's impossible for him to do that, or impossible for her to achieve that. That can't be done. It's impossible. This is one of the worst words we have ever come across, because that is one of the big words, the big terms, when it comes to intellectual conditioning. It's impossible. Come on. You can't tell me that you're going to teleport. You're going to just tell me that you're just going to just walk in a forest and all of a sudden you'll teleport into the city? You can't do that. That's impossible. You can't tell me that you can just go into other dimensions and just pull out other objects from thin air. That's impossible. You can't tell me that you can just levitate up in the air. That's impossible. You can't tell me that you're able to tune into a person and know exactly what they're thinking. That's impossible. You can't expect me to believe that you just live a happy life and you have no problems whatsoever. That's impossible. Sound familiar? And we constantly get barraged by this word because of this mentality, because of this. And that's it. Our own ego keeps us in the lower mind. It keeps us in the lower world. And so, we have the ability to be that superb human. We have the ability to be without limits because of all of these qualities. But we don't. Because we are brainwashed with this. We are completely brainwashed by everything relating to intellectual conditioning, relating to ego from the day that we are born. Yet there are still people who are able to get out of this. There are people who are able to get out of this. There are people who can get out of this. And this goes with it. And that's how you are superhuman. And everything that I just described to you about the idea of pulling out objects from other dimensions, about being able to levitate, about being able to teleport, about being able to tune into somebody and know exactly what they're thinking and feeling, about being able to do all these extraordinary things, if you want, it can be done. But how does that happen? Well, when we see something like that happen, when we're just in broad view of somebody and all of a sudden they're just disappearing and all of a sudden they're 2 feet away from you. Oh, how did he do that? How did she do that? It's impossible, right? No. This is nothing special. Brad, come on. He just teleported from 50 feet over there and is now 2 feet away from me. And I saw it happen in an instant. And you're telling me that's nothing special. It's exactly what I'm telling you. Big deal. What? Big deal? Yeah. Big deal. Big effing deal. Well, come on. He teleported. This person, he levitated himself up. He was able to go 50 feet in the air, and then he was able to lower himself back down within a span of 90 seconds. Big deal. What? And that's what I mean. Big deal. Because it does not take some special person to do that. It's a natural ability we have. And we call these things that we experience miracles. So that must be what a superb human can actually do. They can perform miracles. Miracles aren't a big deal. Come on, Brad. You're telling me about people who can bend the laws of physics. You can talk about people who we cannot explain scientifically levitate in the air or teleport from 50 feet away right up next to me. And you're thinking that's not a big deal because it's not. It's not a big deal. And miracles are no big deal either. I know because I experienced quite a lot of them throughout my life, particularly in the years that I have been spiritually awoken, about how I was able to channel an entity and get all this profound information and share this with people and helping them to unlock facets within themselves that they did not even know were there. Or how I'm able to open up the chakras of people just through intention. How I'm able to raise people's kundalini. How I'm able to go into claircognizance and get information through my own comprehension, telling more secrets that we did not know before. To some other people who look at this from intellectual conditioning, those are outstanding. Those are miracles. No, they're not. Because miracles is not really a big thing. What is it that represents a miracle? It is an effect in harmony with living laws. That's all a miracle is. It is effect produced in harmony with living laws. We have the living laws of creation. We have cosmic laws, we have universal laws, we have galactic laws, we have planetary laws, we have personal laws, we have life laws. And I refer to these as the living laws. And when you abide in the living law, anything's possible. That's all a miracle is, which means there's no big deal about this at all. Miracles are nothing special. Even what Jesus did, a lot of people are wowed about what Jesus did, how he was able to heal a leper, how he was able to walk on water, how he was able to do all these extraordinary things. I look at it and say, big deal. Come on. Brad, he was able to walk on water. Big deal. It's not a big deal. Right? We call that a miracle because it is against our intellectual conditioning. Anything that is against our intellectual conditioning, we will try and convince ourselves and say, oh my God, that's impossible. Or I can't believe it. It's a miracle. There really are no miracles in life. Okay? We only see miracles because we're here. We're in intellectual conditioning. And as long as you hold intellectual conditioning, you're going to think that anything that violates that intellectual conditioning is going to be superb, is going to be otherworldly, is going to be paranormal, is going to be extra normal, is going to be superhuman. It's going to be miraculous. But it's not. The reason why I say it's not a big deal is because I've done things that other people could consider to be miracles. But because I don't hold that intellectual conditioning, it's not a big deal to me, right? That's why I say it's not a big deal when we look at miracles. It's only a big deal to the person who is intellectually conditioned, and again, who has too much ego, and feeling that all these things are impossible because it's like a contortionist fitting themselves in a tiny box. And that's the mortal world. So here's a tiny box. And this contortionist comes along and puts themselves in this box that maybe is about 1/3 their size. And here they are, getting all jammed up inside this box, barely able to put any body part comfortably inside. They're contorted inside that. They look like a pretzel. Okay, good. Now I just want you to live inside that box for the rest of your life. What? I mean, this isn't like a 5-minute demonstration. Nope. You go ahead. You stay in that box for the rest of your life. Guess what, guys? That's the mortal world. Okay? And the mortal world sucks. It sucks because we have all of this conditioning. We have all these beliefs, and we've given our power to them all. We've given our power to all these things where we have to follow the books of science written by people who don't even understand the cosmic or living laws, who don't even understand pure consciousness, who just look at the physical nuts and bolts of materialized reality and think they know what's going on. That's you living in here. And if you're living in here, you are never going to be that. Okay? You'll be that. You'll be human. But you will not be a superb human because you are too busy trying to fit yourself in a box and trying to think that you're going to live the rest of your life comfortably inside a transparent plastic box that is 1/3 your size. I would hate to see what it looks like when you have to go for a bathroom break. Okay. Well, there we go. That is an appropriate analogy about people who are living with heavy intellectual conditioning. And people that decide to live in intellectual conditioning and never want to change out of that, you will never experience what it is to be superhuman. Never. Right? You think you can do it with technology? That's not being a superhuman. When you are looking at this, when you're putting yourself in that box, you really don't even want to let your imagination come in. You have to look at everything with logic. You have to look at everything with rationality, and you befriend that word. That's impossible. That's impossible. That's impossible. Okay, Brad, you made your point. So what do I do to become a super or superb human? Well, this is the whole idea right here. If you want to be extraordinary, advanced, powerful, courageous, without limits, you want to know where happiness, joy, love, peace, bliss comes from. That's the start. That's the first part of moving yourself into being a superhuman. You have to know where this comes from. Okay? And I'm not talking about intellectually. I'm talking about you actually have to know where your happiness, where your joy, where your love, where your peace, where your bliss, where does it come from? Well, Brad, that's quite easy. It's in here, right? It's not attached to an object. It's not attached to a person, place, event, or thing, because that is not the source of happiness. That is not the source of peace. This is the first step to moving you here. Because that's what someone who is a superhuman or a superb human knows. They know that this is where their joy is. They know that this is where peace is. And when I am going throughout the world, and I will have friends, and I will have families, and I may have relationships, and I may have material objects as well too in my life, and I said that's fine because those are extensions of happiness. But that's not happiness, right? I could have the most beautiful partner in the world. Doesn't matter. That's an extension of happiness. That's not happiness. Because a lot of us will say, when I blank get this, then I'm happy. I've heard so many people say that over the years. When I get this, when I graduate, when I get this job, when I make this amount of money, when I have this partner, when I have this object, when I have this big house, when I have enough money to buy this car, then I'm going to be happy. You're walking backwards. You're not even living life. You're in here. You're the contortionist inside the transparent plastic cube that is 1/3 your size. And you're trying to say, I'm going to get this because that's going to make me happy. Then you pop yourself inside that cube. And you go through that, and you have the most uncomfortable, sucky experience because that's what the mortal world brings you. It brings a sucky experience. It's crap. Okay? It's crap because of all the conditions, of all the rules, of all the protocols, of all the procedures, of all the belief systems, of all the problems, of all the troubles that we have. That's why it sucks, right? And I can't blame you guys for being upset. I can't blame you guys for being miserable, for being traumatized, because who would want to live in this? And that's what every single one of us is doing, or has done at some particular point, but maybe no longer. Some of us may still be here. Some of us may have come out of that box. I've come out of that box, but I used to be in here too, years back. Being inside a contortionist's transparent plastic cube 1/3 my size. And I would always say this, when I get this, then I'm happy. When this happens to me, then I'll be happy. Okay? You are never going to be superhuman when you're looking at things like that. So this is why this is so important. This is why we look at happiness, joy, love, peace, bliss. We have to know that we are that. Happiness is not something that you acquire. Happiness is not something that is given to you. Happiness is not something that you have to go out and seek for. You are happiness, right? Just like you don't need to go out and look for your consciousness. You don't need to go out and look for your awareness. It is where you are. It is here. It is who you are. It's your nature. You are pure, all-pervading, infinite, changeless consciousness. You are pure awareness. You are happiness. You are love. You are joy. You are peace. You are bliss. That's your nature. That's who you are. You see? So, okay, Brad, so I get that. I realize that inside the heart, inside myself, that is where joy, happiness, bliss, peace, all of that is, because I know I am that. Good. Okay. But how does that help me to become superhuman? How do I become superhuman when I realize I'm all this? Because now, this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. You've cleared it all away. And you've cleared it all away because you realize that I am this. I am that. I'm not this. Because I'm not the body. I am not the mind. I am completely without limits. I'm all these things, you could say. I'm extraordinary, advanced, powerful, courageous. I'm without limits. You can say all that about me? Sure. That feels great because I know I'm all this. I am happiness, I am joy, I am love, I am peace, I am bliss. And because I know that, because I am living as that, now all these extraordinary things that I'm talking about, being able to tune into somebody and feel their thoughts and feel their emotions, being able to levitate, being able to teleport, being able to be claircognizant and getting universal knowledge downloaded into you, being able to open chakras, being able to raise kundalini, being able to walk on water, being able to heal injuries. All of this can be done. This is what's quite common in ancient yoga traditions as siddhis. Okay? S-I-D-D-H-I-S. Siddhis. Psychic prowess, psychic abilities, phenomenal abilities. But to me, there's nothing phenomenal about them at all. Because I don't live here. I live here. That's where I live. And that's why I have, for example, been able to do the things that I've been able to do for years now. Okay? No, I haven't levitated. No, I haven't teleported. I have seen things instantly manifest, come right here. Right? That happened when I was actually in Mount Shasta. One of my students lost their keys, and I just said, just don't worry about it. The keys are going to show up. The keys are going to show up. And right when she gave up, she went and sat down on a bench, and instantly, I saw her keys manifest right underneath her bench. And then she grabbed them. I'm like, oh, wonderful, wonderful. Right? And she was finally able to receive it when she gave up. Because she was looking everywhere. She was tearing the entire area apart. She didn't know where it was. She finally sat down and said, I don't know, I give up. And then, poof, could see the keys just manifesting right underneath her. We would consider that to be a miracle. To me, it's a big deal. Okay, yeah, see, I told you your keys would show up. That's pretty much what I said to her. You see, your keys showed up. You finally gave up, and the keys showed up. So like I said, to me, this is no big deal. I'm not really wowed by the extra phenomenal world. I'm not wowed by the superhuman world because I am that superb human. And so are you guys. You just may or may not realize it. Okay? We are all superb humans. We are all superhuman. And again, when we look at miracles, we understand that that is effect in harmony with the living laws. The living laws that keep everything in balance, that keep everything in harmony. When you abide by that and your intention is there, that intention will show up. This is why I say you really don't have a clinginess to whatever your manifestation is. In fact, it's a lot more better to manifest things for others than it is for yourself. This is what I've referred to in the past also as optimized manifestations. You are manifesting things, okay, if you're a part of it, then you're seeing how others benefit from it at the same time. The more selfless you are, the more of these quote-unquote miracles you'll experience. You'll just wake up one morning, all of a sudden you find a $100 bill right next to your desk, right next to your end table. Okay? It's kind of like when I decided to give up channeling last year. I woke up and there was this little bird's feather that was put right next to my mattress. Right? I just woke up and it was right there. Now, nobody else lives in my house. No windows were open. Nothing of that nature could have possibly have come in. And I just saw that little feather and I was thinking, oh my God, Spirit has blessed me. Wonderful. Okay. So I've had these things materialize directly in front of me, even during dream time, right? I can see these things materialize. There's times too when I was seeing money right before me, getting materialized before me. When I realized that I was pretty low on money and I wasn't too sure what to do, but then I just kind of let it go. I'd go to a parking lot, all of a sudden there's these paper bills manifested right before me. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. I've experienced these things. I've experienced the superhuman situations. And I'm sure quite a few of you that may be watching this right now say, oh yeah, Brad, I've had similar experiences as well too. That's great. That's wonderful. And I bet you have, because you were part of that effect that is in harmony with the living laws. That's it. When we're in harmony, these amazing things happen. These miracles take place. But when you live like that, it's not such a big deal. It's like a big effing deal. It's no problem. I'm used to this. Okay? And when these miracles happen, it's not like, okay, well, God gave this to me, so I better thank him. I better thank him, or otherwise he'll strike me down with a lightning bolt. No, it's not about that. There's just that natural gratitude that comes together, but it's also that realization saying, I made this happen. I made this happen because I am in complete harmony with myself. I don't put limitations upon myself, and if limitations do come up, it's okay. I catch them and I dissolve them. And you guys should already know how to do that with the techniques, the free techniques I'm giving you on the YouTube channel here, okay? So what does it take for you to be a superb human or superhuman? Okay. So like I said, this is the first step. It's to know that happiness, joy, love, peace, bliss is me. It is not acquired. It is not something I need to seek for. It is not in a person, place, object, or thing. Those are extensions, expressions of happiness. But that's not happiness itself. Happiness is in me. I am happiness. And I also have to know all is perfect. All is perfect. All is perfection. Everything's perfect. Yeah, but Brad, the situations in the world, everything is perfect. Yeah, but Brad, my cousin last week got it. Everything is perfect. Yeah, Brad, I just lost my job. Everything is perfect. Well, my family member, everything is perfect. Well, I just lost my house. Everything is perfect. That's what we're attempting to get in, because as soon as something happens, something drastic happens to ourselves, what happens? We go here. We go into intellectual conditioning. How could this happen to me? This is impossible. How could it have taken place? Etc., etc. And we go back into the box. And this is what happens when you go into that intellectual conditioning, when you think everything's impossible, when the ego is running the show. You go back into the contortionist's box, and you go back into the sucky, crappy, stupid mortal world. Because that is hell. That is the conditioning. That's the closest thing to hell that we can experience. It's when we befriend this. It's when we give our power to that garbage, to the intellectual conditioning, and to the impossibilities that we label upon everything. All of that's got to go. That's got to go. That's got to go. So now you are in flow with the miracles. You're in flow, you're in harmony with the living laws of creation. The living laws of creation you're in abidance with. And you know that everything is perfect. All is well. Even when you think the whole world is falling apart, believe me, it's not. Because if it was, you wouldn't be here. You are looking at the bits and pieces of reality and thinking, oh my God, through these bits and pieces I'm seeing tragedy. And you're right, you are. But you're not looking at the whole picture. And to know that all is perfect is to look at the sphere, and that everything exists within the sphere is perfection, because everything balances itself out. When you look at loved ones who have transcended, who have dropped their bodies, and they have returned to spirit, it's okay. It's all perfect. Because everything that takes place with that needs to take place, because that's all part of the ebb and flow relating to life. We get caught up with these things because we see the bits and pieces of life. We see the bits and pieces of our own existence and thinking, oh my God, woe is me, how could this happen, etc., because you're not looking at the other side. You're not looking at the grand picture. You're not realizing what's also happening that can give you an incredible turning point if you are willing to see it. But if you wallow with the bits and pieces of how tragic everything is, you're going to miss the opportunities that are around you right now to help you grow, evolve, and transform profoundly from the experiences that previously brought you into misery because of your perspective of it. So this is why we have to get used to seeing the entire creation as a whole, to seeing all of life as a whole, to realize that everything balances itself. Because in this moment, as you're watching me right now, listening to me, there's all these opportunities that are before you right now that can tremendously propel you, that can tremendously shift you, that can bring you into such splendor and such wonderment because it's around you, because you realize you're this. I realize I am happiness. I realize I am joy. And when you live as that, you will not experience suffering again. And I can contest to that because I don't live in suffering anymore. I used to, but not anymore. Because I am happiness, I am bliss, I am joy, I am peace. And I show it, I live it, every single moment of every single day. There are those who do not do that, and they're here. That box is your own creation. That box is your own manifestation. Your willingness to go inside that box like a contortionist and be in there is your own decision to do. And you've done it. So to be that superhuman, we know that we are happiness. We know that all is perfection. We know that our intentions are pure, which means we have pure intentions. Every intention we have comes from a pure thought. It comes through a pure feeling. And those things are pure because they abide in the living laws. That's how you know you have a pure thought. That's how you know you have a pure feeling. That's how you know your intentions are pure, because they abide in harmony with the effect of the living laws. There's nothing that violates them. The laws are not being violated, because when you think too little of yourself, you're violating the living laws and you go into the contortionist box because you put yourself there. When you feel like you are down on yourself, when you're constantly saying that word, when you're constantly living here, when you're constantly there, you are not abiding by the living laws. You're violating them. Constantly violating them. Okay, and this is kind of like the universe just giving you these tickets. You know you're violating the living laws over and over and over again. Yeah, but I don't deserve this to happen to me. This shouldn't be happening to me. This is impossible. There's another ticket. But this shouldn't be happening. This is another ticket. Yeah, but I should be. This is another ticket. Okay, and we're just constantly getting these invisible tickets that we call karma. Okay? And that karma represents everything of that disharmonious action that we are taking. We have those disharmonious thoughts, we have those disharmonious feelings, and we're taking disharmonious actions because we're not listening to this. We have forgotten that we are happiness. And so we walk off, and it's kind of like this invisible red alert bulb is flashing every time we're taking a step forward. And what am I doing? You're completely out of harmony. You're just dreading everything. You're afraid of everything. You're angry at everybody. You're pissed at how the world is run. You're outraged in regards to these current events. And you're just more and more miserable every single day. So every step you take, because you are constantly creating this karma that you know you don't want. Brad, how do I get out of it? I just explained it to you. That's it. You have to know that you are the happiness. And the problem is a lot of us don't feel that we deserve to be happiness because others are suffering. Others are suffering bad. Others are having hard times. I don't deserve to be happy because they're not happy. Well, who made that idea? Who made that up? Who made that rule? Who made that rule is thinking that if you see someone who is unhappy, then you should basically sink to where they are. That you should go down to their level. Who made that up? You did, with this. Intellectual conditioning. Someone else is suffering, well then I need to suffer with them. Well, how about you stay in your power with your happiness, because then you can pick them up. Really? Yeah. Stay in your happiness so that you can lift people up. And now, they are getting a small slice of your happiness that you are genuinely willing to give them, to show them. Have a nice day. I just wanted to let you know, I think you're wonderful. I love the clothes that you're wearing. I love your smile. I love the way that you did what you did with your hair. You're such a wonderful person. I just wanted you to know it. And I want you to have a wonderful day. Well, thank you. Thank you. I was feeling down, and you just came up and you lifted my day. You lifted my spirits. Thank you so much. What did you just do? You expressed your happiness to that person through that expression, through that extension. That extension of happiness was given because you are happiness. And don't tell me you've never faced that, all right? You've had compliments. And that's the idea. When we start living here, we help to pick people up. The worst thing you can do is go down to their level and suffer with them. Oh, poor you, Peter, I'm sorry, I'm terrible too, and I'm horrible too, and blah, 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 and this is horrible, and everything is horrible, and boy, I wish you weren't feeling so horrible, but oh well, it's horrible. Okay, we go down to their level. Now you face pain. Rather, you can be up here. And you take their hand, you help them up. Are you okay? You're dusting them off. I want you to know I love you. I think you're wonderful. I just love how you're dressed. I love the smile on your face. Your eyes are beautiful, right? I love the shoes you're wearing. Whatever it is, right? You're complimenting them. You're picking them up. You're giving that slice of heaven to them. Don't you think that's a lot better than basically you voluntarily and purposely tripping over your own feet and falling on top of them? And thinking that you have to suffer with them? Because when you do that, you're basically doing love malpractice or spiritual malpractice when you're doing that. You're only basically feeling that, oh, okay, I need to add to their suffering. I need to add to their sadness. I need to add to their fear. And instead I join them and I suffer with them. Where's the upliftment? Because now you basically have just shot yourself in the foot and you've just trampled over them on purpose. That is not going to bring a harmony. Remember who you are. Remember your happiness. Don't think like you don't deserve it. You are happiness. It's what you're made out of. You are love. It's what you're made out of. You are superhuman. It's what you are. You are a superb human. It's what you are. But you have to get on your side with that. So everything that represents the intention that you put forward because you have realized these things is going to bring about a pure result. It's going to bring about a pure manifestation. And now you're going to have these miracles coming to you left, right, and center all the time. You run out of water, all of a sudden you check your water bottle's full. And you recall, there's no way I ever refilled my water bottle. Now my water bottle's filled with water. I remember drinking it all. And now all of a sudden my water bottle's filled with water. Okay? I've had similar pretty powerful experiences as well. Just these instant forms of manifestation that come to me. Okay? I've had emails that I never thought I'd be getting and they just manifest to me. I've had submissions from people that I never thought they'd be able to send to me, and it's been sent to me, right? It's just all of these things that continue to manifest instantaneously. That's my daily life, right? So I could say that miracles are part of my daily life all the time. This is why I say it's not a big deal. It's until you actually say, I give up on this, I'm letting all of this go, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here. My intentions are pure. With my pure intentions, I can do everything that I think a superhuman could do. Levitate, teleport, connect with a person, tune into them, feel their thoughts, feel their feelings, claircognizant downloads, opening up chakras, raising kundalini, having my own kundalini awakening. I can do all these things. There are no limits, because that's what a superb human represents. They're courageous and they're without limits. And that is another facet pertaining to all of this here. If I was to add something here pertaining to happiness and joy, etc., I would also add strength. And I would also add willpower. Because that's what it takes. It takes strength to get out of this. Okay? And it's not strength where you're lifting weights and, you have to try and get yourself into some type of military training. It's the strength of realizing that my heart is telling me this is who I am. And I am not this, and I'm going to follow it to the letter. It's my determination, it's my commitment, it's my heart. And that's what I'm going for. Because that is who I am. There's that strength, there's that courage, there's that willpower that needs to be there. Okay? Because this is all about you going into the natural direction. Because when we're living here, that's not who we are. That's not our natural flow in any shape, way, or form. That's you in the contortion plastic box. So really take into consideration everything that's been shared here today to know that you are already the superb human, that you already are the superhuman. You're already it. You just have forgotten. And it's about reacquainting ourselves with the simplicity, with all these things of saying, just know that you are pure happiness, pure love, pure peace, pure bliss, pure strength, pure willpower. And then as I realize that, I realize everything is perfection because I'm seeing the whole. And when I see these two things, when I live as these two things, my intentions are pure. And now with my pure intentions, I will continue to be blissful and I will continue to expand. I will continue to move into further greatness because that is my nature. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it very much. If you have any questions on this video or any other videos on my channel, feel free to drop me an email, info@newearthteachings.org, or again, you can go to the website, newearthteachings.com, and visit the contact page. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for checking out this video. There's a lot more videos to come, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar, and may it be well with you.